IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Yeah, I'll be honest, I have a bit of an impatience problem. I don't think that I can deny that. So I'll set this up with that premise that I do have impatience issues, or rather patience issues. Now the thing is, while eating breakfast, and I'll introduce Naren properly in a second and Silverie, while eating breakfast, especially the early morning meal, I get very irritated when people while talking, they stop while eating in the middle of the sentence. So it's like, so there's this guy who works in my bank and namak. And this is so irritating, bro. And it's the first time it's okay, second time it's okay, but after a little while it's like, no, finish your story then eat. You can't do that in the middle. And some of these stories are sort of interesting and then they just die because the momentum is gone. It's like a joke badly told, which is part of this show. One of our strong points.
Have you ever wondered where the business world is headed? How the ways in which we create, market and sell to consumers will evolve? Or if we'll ever go back to wearing pants while working? For answers to all of this and more, tune into Advertising is Dead with me, Varun Dugirala. Every Tuesday, as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders and change makers from across business, media, marketing and beyond. You can catch all episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IVM Podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcast from.
All right, let's welcome Naren has been forced to come here, Simplified, award-winning show. He's got lots to talk about, including an increment. What increment? They don't pay us, so how does that become an increment? I don't understand. And Silverie, nice to see you. Well, I don't know if those who can watch this on their, whatever they're watching it on, Silverie's hair is really in place. And
today, just having a good hair day today, man. Really.
You think?
I thought exactly the
honest,
same
because
in my car.
Kajol is waiting to talk about this. But be honest and tell me, no, bro. This is a lot of work, right?
I mean, I spent about like half an hour
Can
on my
we close
hair,
in on his hair? Is it possible?
I can. Yeah, you can.
Close in a little bit on his hair. There you go. Wow, that's amazing. And that's fantastic.
What I find amazing.
It's okay, man. It's just Cyrus.
Kajol, let me introduce you.
Okay, only. It's not great.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, not sorry. It's the show is so informal. There's no point saying sorry at any point, unless you're watching. In which case, you apologize to somebody else that you're watching this. But our beautiful and wonderful Kajol is here, and unfortunately doesn't want to come early morning to this silly, crappy studio with no parking. So.
I'm a freelancer, Cyrus. I can't come that.
No, fair enough. You just stand on your moral principles, and getting up early should be one of them. But get back to the hair. You were saying something. I stopped you in the middle.
Yeah. So, guys with just so little hair, I mean, most guys.
Show your hair, she talks.
No, the quantity is less.
They need both their hands to style it. Whenever they're out, they need both their hands to style it.
Correct.
Well, women are okay, like with my length of hair, it's like long. They just find this one hand. I've never understood this.
But it's
Why
also,
do you need two hands?
your hair, obviously with all the shampoo or genetics or whatever is good. So you can just do that and it sort of reacts well. When you, like my hair, you need to take 4 or 5 implements to find things and all. It's not easy. And he's saying...
my hair is very
overcompensating, right?
My hair is very nazuk.
You
like
feel
very
that the forehead mein kam hai, so you putting more up. This is typical Indian male. As we bald, a lot of guys grow the chotli and the potli. I mean, Rags Kote, one of the greats of advertising.
Absolutely.
He's famous for... just went from everywhere and he became like, one of those Shaolin monks at the end with just a chotli at the back like Tenali Raman in 22nd century. So I don't know. It's not the worst idea, right?
I mean, if it works, it works. Like if it hides.
But it's
so the thing is, I have a bald spot here. That usually people don't.
Can you show it to us? So
I can't. I really can't.
How do we know you're telling
I
the
have to
truth?
find it. But we I have a bald spot.
We
so
ask everyone watching to show and share their bald spots to get over this complex. Yeah.
But I try and fluff my hair up. That's keep it up so it keeps
back
shows
in the
like
day.
voluminous.
Aage Naren ka kahani chalo. Let's be open.
Back in the day, this used to be a thing with bankers in general. Okay, so they'd have a little bit hair that really grow it long and then toss it on the other side.
Oh,
I know. Yes.
And try to pretend.
Yes.
Yeah. And the biggest they used to the biggest problem is they have a cold.
Yeah.
They sneeze, they have to take off because the whole thing has to be arranged.
Like if the wave goes.
Yeah.
That's true. You got to be damn careful with the wave. You can't have a frantic head movement and all.
Yeah, you can
lose it.
like
Because there's a dignity to it. No? It gives it a certain presence and personality. And then if you lose that in the middle, you just lose your self-esteem slightly. But this is chemically enhanced also, right? Because it's all standing up and shiny money.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is some product, yes.
Wow.
I don't want to plug
What
them
product is
unless they...
Plug them.
Yeah.
There's no harm. No one's coming on anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well
No, I don't want to get trolled if it's a bad product.
I
and
have
people are
mentioned.
Like, hey, there's all these like chemicals in this.
It's
That's
not
why you're losing your
the
hair.
only worry is that you're using something on your rectum on your hair. That's the only worry because that has happened. And
Oh, that's what it
people
was.
don't-
What?
you know what I've done so many times. I've taken
What?
release spray. I'm always injuring myself in the morning in the gym and stuff, and I take the release spray and forget it's not the deodorant, and vice versa. So I have sprayed. Have you ever sprayed release spray in your armpit? The pain, bro.
No.
I've jumped around like a mad animal, and people think
God.
I
Yeah,
mean,
of
it's
course.
terrible.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about what you put where.
Yes.
No sexual reference here,
Absolutely.
Kajol, so do not shout at me, all right? I'm an old man who can... My organs aren't even in working condition, so don't you dare make fun of me. All I've got are memories, and those are solo memories, so it's nothing worth talking about.
Sure.
All right, before we start the topics for the
Yes,
day, a little plug for Simplified.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's
You're making him plug it. But what kind of anchor are you?
I mean,
only in India, Kajol, you call the guy and say, boss, tu bata. I mean,
no.
certain etiquette, certain, decency, decorum.
Yeah.
But I imagine people already know that
No,
there is a
but
show
but
called
that's not
Simplified,
Simplified.
on our network, on the IMA podcast
Yeah,
network.
UNESCO certified best show in the world.
Yes, it
and
is.
it basically, we read a few Wikipedia articles and try to simplify things. And somewhere along the 15-minute mark, we give
just
up.
for the record,
Yeah.
Wikipedia has simplified.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept of it, right? It's not like a long concept. Like simplified, now read.
And then about 15 minutes down, we give up, and then it just degenerates into time pass. So, yeah.
So how is this show different from our show? I mean, really? The shows just go into one another.
Only
How-
difference is your show is funny.
No! My show is only funny when Kajol comes on. And by the way, Kajol, we had another fight.
Simplified, by the way, is also very funny and very interesting. Go check it out. It's you really like it.
Yeah.
We had a fight yesterday. I don't want to take names. These comedians can't get along, Kajol. You're missing all the fun.
Yeah, another.
Yesterday,
Who had a fight? Who had a fight?
Naveen, I won't take names. That's not right.
I mean,
right?
but he did. So
Okay,
I guess
Naveen
it's
did.
fine.
Right? He did. We
Yeah,
didn't
he
even
did.
prompt him.
Yeah, we didn't prompt
He
him.
did. Yeah. So it became
Yeah.
like a gossipy show. This small world of comedians, of 6 English-speaking comedians that tour
Yeah.
India and make 16 rupees with GST. They are fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
So what
Tata versus
happened?
Ambani. I'm like, what the hell are you guys going on about? So there's one Indian Mumbai comic, one Delhi comic. Some issue happened here. Some personality clash. Nothing really serious from what I gather. But next thing I know, boom. Things are not good. But I won't take
On
names.
the show.
Well,
Well, I know who was on the show,
he was
but they had a fight on the show.
No, they didn't have a fight.
No,
They didn't have a
airing
fight.
their grievances like ours is a, the
no.
agony aunt columns where people come and tell you, I hate this guy. It's not
Yeah.
that. We are simplified.
It's like Ambani saying that, Adani bought this and I wanted to buy it. And
It's
you
not.
know, I was very
Those are very
bad.
powerful and rich people. These are not.
That's true.
Oh.
Now, the guy who washes
Cyrus
their
was
driver's
this-
car, if we discuss his situation, maybe, yeah.
Imagine at an award show, the presenter is Anil Ambani, right?
Hmm.
And he says something, makes a joke about Adani's wife. You think Adani will come and slap him?
Wow.
Deep.
Yeah.
This is deep.
You killed 3 corporate sponsors in one shot. You're taking us off many
entire
mediums in one.
spectrum is
No
gone.
more IPL for any of us to begin with. I mean, oh my God, that's amazing. I mean,
I
for some,
remember this one episode years back when Kabir Bedi's wife, she was his Firaun chick, Nikki, I think.
Nikki, many
And she
years
was
back.
in-
Because he married
many
after
years
that
back.
also.
Yes, many years back, and she was interviewing Amitabh Bachchan. There's some Saturday nights with Nikki or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
It
yeah,
lasted,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think 2 episodes.
You got the day wrong, but
Because-
something is somewhat
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. What was it?
And then on the first episode, she went and asked Amitabh, "Why is your
No,
hair
this was
so
Pooja
white?"
Bedi, not Nikki.
No,
The daughter,
it was
Pooja
Nikki.
Bedi, had a show.
It was Nikki.
Kajal, I swear, I remember the incident.
But I know Nikki got into trouble also. Everyone
No, she got into trouble over Mahatma Gandhi reference, which happened.
Yes.
Okay.
With
Yes,
a
yes, yes,
certain
yeah.
member of the homosexual community who was trying to project something in a lighthearted way, said something, but I won't get into that because there's more controversy. We'll lose our small jobs.
Yeah.
But this was Pooja, I promise you, where she made fun of his white hair and black goatee or
Wait,
vice
I will
versa.
Google this.
You Google it. I'm never wrong. The Parsi blood, no? The details are never wrong. Till I die, my details are right.
And he will fight to his
Yeah.
death for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I'm not the guy who, operates on the right leg instead of the left leg when the guy comes. That's Kunal.
Now I really hope Cyrus is wrong.
I can't be. I can't be wrong. It's not possible. I don't want to brag and be arrogant about it, Kajal. But take your time and
Okay.
swing by when you're ready. Tell us the answers. In the meantime, we can
Meantime-
go to the
Yes.
first topic.
All right. The first
Give her
topic.
5 minutes while she does that. Yeah.
Cool. The first topic of the day is that Navratri just started this past Saturday,
Yeah.
and Delhi has announced a meat ban of like a ban on meat shops being open during the Navratri period.
Yeah. Well, not just Delhi, no? It's a few.
Yeah, a number of places.
Ghaziabad.
You're
Yeah.
behaving like Kunal. Anything north of Rajasthan
But-
is just one Delhi or something. It's a little bit more than that.
That's where it started, basically. Right? But yeah, so that's the thing. They're considering a ban on meat shops to be open during Navratri, which is
Well, now
not
they've
just
watered it down to licensed meat shops may operate, but you can't throw animal carcasses on the road, and it's really strange. I'm wondering, are they really throwing animal
who
carcasses
was
on the
throwing it?
road,
Yeah.
which is a different issue altogether.
Yes.
It's about hygiene,
Absolutely,
more than
absolutely,
morality,
yeah.
and
Like-
yeah.
But really, like
But logically, it follows that you can't eat meat because people might throw animal carcasses
Yeah,
on the
correct.
road. Yeah.
Yeah, what do they do with it after
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Oh,
But
then they
this
have to
is-
eat meat, so there's no carcass on the road. Oops.
their excuse is that people who are following fast during Navratri are saying that we find it
Yeah,
difficult.
passing the meat
Yeah,
shops.
we have gotten a lot of complaints. They're saying,
Yeah.
and so
But that's where the metro will help. You can go below the meat shop. You know, if you get the metro in time, go just take the right route. Boom.
or
out.
above.
Above to mar jayega, no? That means
Like,
you're
or
dead.
above the meat
He,
shop.
he's
or
gone.
niche.
They'll say no.
Or like-
What if you throw the carcass from above onto the
down,
road?
yes. Okay, or-
Yeah.
I don't think you're ready
Or
for
from
Delhi.
down to-
Delhi's not your place here because you're going to cause trouble. Kajol, what's your take while you find out that I'm right?
I have been very fiery on Twitter because now I'm just fed up. It's reached beyond the point. Okay. Firstly, what is this Navratri? I was a
Okay,
little,
careful. It wasn't about Navratri per se.
No, but which Navratri? How many Navratri?
Okay, yeah,
are
this
there
is
now?
this is another version. This is the April one, which
There are
is
two Navratris.
to not. This
Yeah,
is not the
two
Gujarati Navratri we are exposed to.
No,
where we go and dance.
one Navratri is where Ram killed Ravan, and one Navratri where Ram was
This is with
born. I think
Durga,
this
no?
is the
This is the Dandiya one. Which is the
Durga
Dandiya
one.
one?
that's Durga.
Dandiya one is later.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Durga,
Durga
and
plays a
Ravan.
very important role
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
one. This is the north part of India.
Yeah.
See, religion is very complicated in India. If you pass one ilaka to the next, things change. You got to
Yeah.
be really careful.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So go to your point about it being which
My
Navratri.
point is, when I was in school, we didn't celebrate so many festivals as we do now.
Yeah.
Now every day is a festival, and I don't know. I genuinely confused this. I was wondering that the dancing will start. Then I was like, no. Apparently, it's not that Navratri. So
Yeah.
how many Navratris are there? And are we supposed to celebrate them?
Till you read Falguni Pathak live, it's not the same Navratri. That's the clear, idea and clue that they give you. Ki that's our Navratri where we grew up, Mumbai areas and Gujarat, etc. This is a totally different thing. This is a penance festival where they want people to suffer. Hence, they're shutting the meat shops and say go on diet for 9 days or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a whole
No,
different
that is
concept.
all festivals in our country are suffering only. I've not seen a happy
Well,
festival.
Kajol, technically, Silverie's birthday party, people were allowed to drink booze and all back in the day. Not anymore, of course.
My birthday is on 25th December. Like what?
Wow, excellent.
Yes.
Man, you changed the world. Huh? One
know, I
man.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's
My
because
point is,
yeah.
Please.
so I saw a first post article which said India is observing Navratri. And I said, no, India is not observing. 99% of Mukesh Suryan's friends are observing. Because I had not heard of this. Mukesh Suryan, by the way, is the mayor of South Delhi who wants to shut everything.
I have his poster in my room.
But
He's my hero.
But so like my family also observes in the way like my parents say कि अच्छा veg ही खाना इन दिनों non-veg मत खाना. But
But that's
outside
not,
the house
that's a
that's
totally
really
different thing. That's not imposing on other people. You
Yeah.
do what you want. I mean, tomorrow if I want to be naked in my room, that's what
Exactly.
I want
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
That's a
And also
private
this people's
personal...
livelihoods also. People who run meat shops, they are on a day-to-day basis. They are selling their own.
It's again the concept of making people feel that they are second-class citizens in a
Yeah,
sense. Let's not
exactly.
get into
Yeah.
the communities and all.
Yeah.
But you're doing that because every time it's like you are wrong.
Yeah.
It's like that gentleman from Licious who came on and spoke to us about, which we never thought of, but great philosophy. Why do we feel worried that we are non-vegetarian? When you go to a restaurant, it's separate menus.
Yeah.
Apparently only
Yeah.
here. Then I thought about it. He's right because you go to Europe and all, there's no separate menus.
And
Everything's together. That's really secular food. If you want, there's this, and if you want, there's that. But it's all together. Here we separate everything, separate the containers, make the non-veg guy feel really bad. Sorry, I'm non-veg. It's like that.
And also the terminology of veg and non-veg. Right?
Exactly.
There's
Except in
an
Parsi weddings where we make the veg. feel bad.
There's one
Sit outside.
there's one person I know. I mean, I know of. Who is her grandparents are from Pakistan. So she wanted
Your voice
to.
softened when you said Pakistan. You're left-leaning liberal. You're almost a Deshdrahi.
The memories-
You
the
said
memories
Pakistan the way I would say Sweden.
So she wanted to go there and, whatever, for memory reasons. And she managed to get a visa. She went. But small problem is she is a very, hardcore vegetarian. She's never eaten meat all her life.
So that I'll tell you another story after this.
So she goes to restaurant and she asks a vegetarian. So he says, "हाँ बिल्कुल vegetarian मिलेगा." So what vegetarian is? Palak gosht है, dal gosht है.
So you guys know this story. In 2006 we retoured Pakistan, I think 6 or 5, and Shahid Afridi, the Pakistan cricketer, so he invited all the Indian boys over for lunch as you would in Karachi. So they went there and he had laid it out, but he didn't remember that 60% or 6 out of 12 or whatever were veg. No, not all, but half of them were veg. So they were like, we can't eat this. So apparently his mother and his aunt or something, they ran to the bazaar. They went and got dal, rajma, this, that. In about 40 minutes, they made things from different houses, brought it back and kept it there. But he just put a spade of kebabs out and he thought, and was, you know how, let's face it, Pakistani Mehman culture is number one in the world, whether you like anything else about them.
And so, great food.
Great food. So they could not let the guests go on, So the entire female family, part of the female side of the family just ran out to wherever they could to get stuff while he was trying to entertain them and buy time. It was such a funny story.
Very sweet also, actually. Yeah.
It's amazing.
But I think Parsis have one veg dish. They'll have one veg dish.
Kachumbar.
No, stew. And it's quite awful.
Stew is mutton stew or chicken stew? There's no stew.
No.
Anna's lying to you. There's no stew on its own. One whole cookbook. Arey Baba, no.
It is made out of kand and potato in tomato ketchup.
So that's the stew part, but then you put the meat in it, Baba. It's like how you make the dal. You don't make the dal.
For all the veggie people, they make that stew and give. And
see, Dansak is so popular. When I was growing up, people would come to my house to eat. Then mom realized that so many are veg and all. We had to cook it in 2 different vessels, as in the dal also. You literally cook it. It would taste slightly different sometimes. There lots of pulses and all go into it. Some 22 things are in the Dansak. Dansak just doesn't turn up like that. I didn't know that. I thought, you go in 10 minutes into the dal. And it takes hours of work and 22 things and all that. But you separate the vessels. And I was very upset about it. Why do you separate the vessels? Because when we go out, I have to eat the veg food. When it's not replicated.
Then you don't
There's no separate vessel for me and
vessel,
all that. It's like, beta, how do you like the food? I'm like, yeah, great. Having said that, let's all become vegetarian, only not to kill animals. That's the only good thing. So if that was what UP was saying or Delhi was saying, is a different thing, but they don't exactly say that. They just say things about it's traditionally bad and this and that. But the connect of killing animals is
the thing is also there are so many other.
What?
They say don't kill animals. That is very obvious.
Never. That actual connection is lost. It's just doing it out of some tradition.
They have called non-vegetarians murderers.
But we are. There's no question. You're killing animals. You
can't
deny that.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, there are so many other problems in Delhi. Like there's a pollution problem. There's a cleanliness problem. There's all these other
problems.
What
about the accent? Yeah, man. So, Cyrus, what is going on here?
Accent also.
Why are you coming on lads, yaar?
Dear. I love dear. Yeah, dear.
Yes, dear. Kya? What about fucks? मैंने fucks कभी सुना नहीं life में. F-U-X, fucks is a गाली. Oh, fucks, yaar. I'm like, fucks क्या होता है? What fucks, bench? What fucks? ऐसे पर fucks क्या है? अरे fucks नहीं मालूम bench? तू अंग्रेजी बात करते हो? Fucks क्या होता है? I was like, what the hell are you? I really didn't understand. I love Delhi.
So exactly.
5 days in Delhi, you come back singing. Now we all start singing, Oh, mom, what is there for dinner? We all start talking like that. What's wrong?
Yes. But exactly, so there are so many other problems, but these guys want to concentrate on this and waste manpower and like people personnel on this.
Let's face it, this is all political
all political, exactly.
which is done, and then people just pick it up and suddenly want their identity to be placed up. This identity crisis males have, Indian males especially, it goes on from the age of 18 to 40, 45, I think. We don't know who we are, so we get bought in by all this. So today I'm vegetarian and Sanskriti and Parampara and all this shit, and tomorrow I'm watching a rugby match. It's like all over the place.
A whole problem is most Indian males, they're convinced that other people are having more fun, and they want and they're bloody right also. They're right also.
Sharab ban karo, I'm dying to drink. Sharab ban karo.
I also like suddenly they rise up. Like 1 year, like all these last 10 years is no problem. Haan, theek hai, meet chal raha hai.
Kajal's point is fantastic because we didn't know about this Navratri. So we are learning thanks to what they're doing. Information is coming across. So in a way they're spreading.
See, in a way, God is trying to bring us together.
That's what.
Because Navratri and Ramzan both started on the same day this year.
Totally different diets.
But I know, but that's kind of like a good thing, no? Like, so why are you banning? Ramzan is also going on, dude. They will also break fast.
Well, if you're observing Ramzan in that area, you can't eat because as you break your fast, you got dry fruits and nothing else. What are you going to do?
Sad, man. Exactly. So it's obviously pointedly, it seems like
let the Parsis run the country. We are non-veg, but we love animals. Paradoxical as it is. Everything will be taken care of. Fair. All in favor, raise your hands.
Everyone will get good cars. Yes.
Except me because my hands are torn. the thing will show. That's terrible.
Okay.
So how poor our budgets are.
Yeah.
The hosts and all can't even get
Terrible.
shirts.
Yeah. This is like, start an agitation.
We spend all our money on our anchor's hair. That chemical alone costs like
correct.
2 t-shirts.
It's half my salary.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is that the Oscars and Grammys are in some more
Controversy.
controversy.
Desi controversy.
Desi controversy.
As if they don't have enough going there
I know,
across
right?
the Atlantic, we did
Yeah.
our bit here. Yeah.
Because people are saying, there was in the In Memoriam part
The
of the
names
of the
that
thing,
come, yeah.
Lata Mangeshkar and Bappi Lahiri weren't mentioned.
Yeah.
Also, Dilip Kumar could have been mentioned. Also,
Yeah.
but especially these two weren't.
Why Dilip
Wait,
Kumar at the
no,
the
the
Oscars?
Oscar Dilip
the
Kumar.
Oscars,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
That would be great if they didn't know that much about Dilip Kumar for Grammys and Lata for Oscars. That would be fun. And Bappi for both. All round. I am a disco dancer. Oh!
But I don't think it's
Memoriam.
that big a deal if you really think about it. Yeah.
It's jingoism and nonsense.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
What do
yeah.
you care?
Yeah.
You have your own awards. If they reach out there, globalization is happening. They sort of know more about our people and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm
But
saying, why would you
also-
go out of your way to say, please celebrate? This
Yeah.
sounds like the same
But also,
right-wing
like,
nonsense that goes on with the festivals.
I don't know if Lata Mangeshkar and Bappi, I could be wrong, but have they worked in any Hollywood features?
No,
anywhere?
they have featured here and there. I've done a VMA in 2001 where Asha Bhosle got a special prize.
Okay.
That's where A.R. Rahman carried my bag. So we all went
wow.
there.
Okay.
But what we didn't realize,
Yeah,
What?
Video Music
that's a story.
Awards,
Yeah.
no, long story. Video Music Awards, for us in Asia, they put us in one room.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that same evening. I saw Will Smith there, by the way, because
He
we
was
got
slapping.
to, we got
He'll
to-
slap you.
No, he was wearing all white and with
Okay.
a rhinestone belt and all. I felt that their stars, our stars, no difference. They look like idiots.
He's ready to belt someone in any instance.
Like, why you a rich, classy, sort of good-looking guy? Why would you dress worse than? I mean, Govinda would be like, "Hey man, my village." What's going on? It's really funny. Anyway, cut a long story short, they put us in a
BAFTA
room.
mentioned, yeah. BAFTA did mention Lata Mangeshkar.
Yeah, but they put us in a room. So there was it was like in Mumbai they made a big deal out of it. In India they put hoardings up and all that. We went there and poor Asha Bhosle, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me. Very sweet lady, loves animals, loves the Beatles, so we were good.
wow.
But she expected to get a standing ovation from millions of people, and that
Wait,
didn't
I love
quite
the
happen.
idea of you talking about the Beatles to Lata Mangeshkar.
I did an interview with her. I've discussed this before because Rahul Khanna fell sick last minute. He always fell sick last minute because they want all the big names because he's Vinod Khanna's son and all that. They want him to do it. Fair enough. Yeah. So Amitabh Bachchan, he falls sick. Suddenly they call me. I'm working out on my terrace with my German Shepherd and they say, "Come here in 1 hour. Amitabh Bachchan's coming and you better be careful," and put all that pressure. So same thing with Asha Bhosle. He falls sick. And then they tell me, okay, now you have to speak in Hindi. She's not comfortable in English. I say, oh God, because Hindi is okay, but I have to now speak in Hindi with respect. And my Hindi, I can't control respect in my Hindi. But I know, I can speak. I'll speak as fluently as I can, but I can't speak well. So all that's in my head.
You would get lynched if you call Lata Mangeshkar
Because
too.
tie and all that. What do you all say? Hey, Asha, what's up, yaar? How's it hanging, bro? You can't talk like that. That's
What
not-
the fucks?
Yeah, what the fucks, yaar. मैं भी Bollywood में किया काम यार. So all that, but it didn't work that way.
Yeah.
Then she, as usual, they give a wrong impression of people. She was so nice, so charming, so self-deprecating, and making fun of herself all the time. I was just stunned, yeah. Just amazing. We had a great time. And language goes out of the window. It's not an issue. Age, all these go out of the window once people, get a little time together. So I must say, PR people across India, you suck. Because you unnecessarily scare people and cause animosity and fear. When a lot of people can get along, you need just one thing to get people, going sometimes. So yeah. I don't know why I brought up this story.
Yeah.
No, but
No, I have to tell one Vinod Khanna anecdote.
Oh, everybody's showing off. One second, Silverie, तेरे पास कुछ है यार?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Naam.
Amitabh Bachchan and I are chaddi buddies.
I don't think it's true. Your hairstyle is different. Yeah.
Just a lot of hair transplants and cosmetics.
Except in Shahenshah.
I
maybe.
color my hair.
Sorry.
Yeah. So my dad used to own my dad is no more. We had a hospital and it was very close to a place called Filmistan Studio in Goregaon.
Of course.
Yes.
So one day
It's very difficult to find because the gate suddenly comes.
Yeah. So one day there's a little bit of a commotion. I happened to be in the hospital for something. When we were kids, we used to just hang around there.
It's a fun area.
Yeah, that was the only time.
Operation चालू है. Money का chance 50. Vijay.
They're asking, now what are you doing? Okay, cutting open. Now what are you doing? Just opening the heart out. Now what are you doing?
Dad, can I get my watch inside?
So there's a commotion and there's some guy with this big sort of cut on his foot, and
Sorry, bro. I'm worried because our insensitivity shouldn't come out totally. If it's a sad storyteller.
No, it's not a sad story.
Okay.
So this guy, my uncle is a surgeon, so he says, okay, minor OT ready karo, apan usko stitch karega. And everything is happening, and there is it's a small hospital, right? So there are 2 or 3 nurses who are, who are competent.
Ajay, Vijay.
Who are basically...
Hey, guys, sorry to interrupt, but remember who's the hospital queen, huh? Who's the setup queen when it comes to hospitals and medical beds? We'll come back to that. Don't worry. Yeah.
So he 2 or 3 of them qualified to assist him in surgery, and that one of the nurses is like hanging around getting ready for everything, and suddenly she faints, just falls down in a heap. And what has happened is Vinod Khanna has come. And he's like incredibly handsome. He's like Adonis. And this lady just saw him and she fainted.
Really?
Yeah, and very sweet of
in a
him.
hospital.
That guy was Vinod Khanna's makeup guy or something like that. Very sweet. So my uncle, being my uncle, he says, I don't know who you are, but you go please sit down in the waiting area before you...
He didn't know who Vinod Khanna was.
He must have, but he's
You'd have a crowd outside,
So he told him, go sit in the waiting area because I don't want you to knock out my other nurse because I won't be able to do the surgery. And Vinod Khanna laughed and he went and sat. He sat for the duration of the 10-15 minutes.
Everyone in the waiting room is fainting. Like,
But really
why
sweet
aren't
guy.
the patients coming inside still? I said next a while.
I've done better. I've drunk with Vinod Khanna.
Wow.
That's superb. And what? Can you imagine? For us growing up, when we had a chance to drink with these guys,
He stayed at Il Palazzo, right?
Yeah. He used to stay at the club when he came back from that whole Rajneesh, let's not get into it, situation. Stayed at the WI club for many months, So he was very friendly at that point. I was young. Used to all the kids, the college guys would hang around there and all. Very friendly. We could talk to him. And
very sweet guy. Very sweet guy.
Yeah. But I've drunk with him, I must say. Great fun. Yeah. And those are proper drinkers,
Yeah.
You have to catch up. It's not like by the time the century turned, I'm like the only drunkard there. All these young guys, professionals, all pretty fit.
Spent a lifetime honing that skill and all the masters are gone.
Salman was the last of the buggers. After he goes, you got nothing. Everyone's so perfect, like a herbal mint tea now, green, then yoga asana.
Wine versus wine. Is this I don't drink, Merlot. I like only Pinot Noir.
God, really? I know. If you're not, it costs you company for and to listen to that conversation on top of that, it makes you feel inadequate because you know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
anyway.
absolutely.
Yeah, Vinod Khanna, last of the greats. Maybe we just think of our generation, what we grew up. Everybody's always better, rosy, tinted hues. Bro.
Yep.
I think Kajol wants to throw in her story.
Kajol,
who's the most famous person you met in a hospital or in a bar?
Not in hospital, but when I was 18, I was doing a website for a famous Bollywood star who I will not mention.
No, then I'm leaving. Come on.
Jackie Shroff. Jackie Shroff.
He's a pretty easy, cool guy. Why would you not mention?
Very cool guy.
Bro.
Because the rest of the story.
My area. 3 buildings from me. Valkeshwar boy. Amit, he's 1 building from Amit. See the difference? Boy?
Wow.
One became Bido, one became American. This is different. Bolo.
Jackie Shroff was too down to earth. Like I expected some starry nakra. There was nothing. Like I had called. He was my uncle's neighbor. So my uncle had arranged this whole thing. Okay. I was supposed to be doing it for exposure. And I had called him up and he had not responded. So I had given up. He called back. Okay, and I was actually sleeping and my mom woke me up. It's like Jackie Shroff is on the line. Okay? And then he's like, yeah, I'm in your area today. I'll go and pick you up. And we talk. And he actually came to my house. And I nearly fainted because he was like, he's an amazing guy.
He was a model first. He was a very successful male model. He was like known for his looks.
Yeah.
Jackie Shroff for a few years was like the print, that time when all these print models were great.
Charag Din shirt.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, wow, look. Guess who's a fan? Forget Kajol. Naren, he's got everything. The posters, the launch, everything. Wow.
That's not cool, because the transition from model to acting, not many people are good at it.
Many. Even now, not so many.
Yeah, exactly. So
John Abraham is the last
and
one.
And he's still great as an actor, I would say.
Yeah.
No, and he's gone to the next generation.
Correct.
The OTTs and all that.
He's very cool. He has that coolness on screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
And like me, couldn't remember any lines. So they worked out many ways to deal with that over the years, Jackie. Because he was charisma.
That video was famous. What is that?
Maushi Chi Gand.
Maushi Chi Gand, yes, of course.
There are many of those. That's just one that they preserve. But yeah, I think everyone will say that he's one of those guys everybody likes. Nobody. He's very.
Have you drunk with him?
I've drunk with oh God!
What?
I've drunk with him at Jazz by the Bay, and I told him I have no money. That's the best part. We were
Hey,
quite
Bidu,
drunk. We were
don't
quite
worry,
drunk.
Bidu.
And Kunal said, "Hey, Jackie Shroff's here." And, hey, Bidu, come here, sit down. Bakra, and all that. Tell me. And he was drunk Gujarati, which is as bad as my Hindi. Now I have to speak in Gujarati because this Shroff side decided that we are Valkeshwar neighbors, and so we're talking and all that. And in the middle, I said, he said, it's some fancy name like Pina Colada. He wanted to drink some long-winded Spanish-sounding thing. So I said, but Jackie, I don't have any money. You know me. What money? What money? He's shouting out, "What money?" And fucking, when you meet a guy like that, you're a young guy who wants to drink, that's your bank, man. Then you guess. And then I invited everyone because मेरा बाप का है अभी. तो 15-20 लोग आ गया. अरे आजा, come on, Jackie Shroff. And South Bombay takes a little while to show bhav, no?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to act like we are also, famous, so we don't have to give a respect to. But deep down they're dying too. Once you break that wall, then he might as well have been in Kandivali because they were all over him completely. And 50% are Gujarati speaking. So on top of that, everybody's like, wow, Apro Jackie. Yeah, great guy. Oh, what? Drinking story. Rishi Kapoor, drinking story. I got lots, bro.
You've drunk a Rishi Kapoor also?
No, Rishi Kapoor is my first introduction. I've told this on the podcast. A wedding that happened, Shrishti Bell. So we had gone there. Kunal was a friend, etc., etc. And all the Kapoors were sitting and eating at one point. And we were sitting there, all of South Bombay guys, looking at these great Kapoors and all that we grew up on. And
they're known for having like lavish meals.
Listen. Rishi Kapoor is eating, and then his head falls into the plate. Means duck, behosh. I immediately, the respect went up. I was like, okay, now that's a star. Wait, Ranbir Kapoor picks up his head, takes out the roti from under his chin, and drops his head and continues eating. Boss, I said these are stars. I only want these stars. I'm not looking at these bloody perfectly manicured V-shaped stars who come and drink herbal tea. These are stars. And they all acted like a normal day.
Yeah.
Normal evening, the Kapoor Khandan.
Like nobody's,
I love them.
no sense of urgency. Arey, kya hua Rishi ko?
If you met them, Silverie, those were guys. Yeah, they were so much fun. They were crazy. They're so funny. Rishi Kapoor will make you die laughing. He was just so funny.
He's always funny.
And the way he just picked up his head, he took the roti and went on. Like it's just normal.
Was that a bit? Was it doing a bit?
No, man. And the respect we had for them was anyway high. When we left, 5-6 of us, 18, 19-year-old boys, we were like, these are rock stars. Now India should be proud. Now I feel like an Indian. Finally I feel I'm happy.
I know, man. Yeah.
Something that I can talk about.
Someday I want to faint into my food and my
and
food
have a
don't
pal.
taste it.
And have a brotherhood.
The coolness.
Oh, wow.
Ah, boy. How can we top that?
So we take a break.
Okay, we'll take a break.
Let's do that.
Fair enough. Kajol, we're taking a break. Don't go anywhere. And don't go back to sleep.
And what happened to the Nikki thing?
Oh, yeah. Puja baby.
Wait. I'm not finding on other.
You got a few seconds. We're going into a break. We're giving you a few seconds.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like a bully, because then people say I'm trying to be like a bully. But I know this is true. Okay, we're taking a break. Puja Bedi when we return.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On The Habit Coach, Ashton talks to the founder of Radiance Clinic, Dr. Falguni Shah. She shares 3 must-do things for healthy and glowing skin. On The Longest Constitution, Priya delves into the state-wise regulation of trade, sale, and consumption of alcohol. On Tere Mere Raste, Keshav describes the serene 100-kilometer journey between Leh and the Lamayaru Monastery. On Smarter with Sid, Siddharth shares 3 lessons we can learn from Hajime Isayama, the creator of the super hit anime show Attack on Titans. And on All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk observe humanitarian corridors and their existence in times of war, both in the current and historical contexts. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you might be listening to us on. And do check us out on YouTube. We're building a whole bunch of different channels. You can find them on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And we're also doing a small listener survey, which we would really appreciate your help with. It helps us kind of talk to advertisers. So you could go to ivmpodcast.com/survey. It'll just take a couple of minutes and it would be really helpful to us. We do appreciate this. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance and the India Water Portal. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Hi, Kajol.
Okay. Hi, it's Puja Bedi.
One minute. I don't want to be one of those guys who gloats and all that. La, 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 la. I'll just do the little ad by myself in the corner for 2 minutes. Yeah. No, I know the whole story, Kajol. Don't worry. As in, I'm not trying to. I remember this whole incident, like firsthand, about what happened, etc., etc. One, I'll explain to you some other time because there are lots of interesting topics we have to get into.
Yes, absolutely.
Silverie's got some 7 more stories to do today, out of which we'll do 1.
Okay, cool. Correct. The next story is about this textbook, the syllabus of this, the contents of this textbook called the Textbook of Sociology for Nurses has gone viral basically because in the textbook, as a part of the syllabus that is being taught to these nurses, is a section titled Merits of Dowry. Okay, they are in a way like in like this roundabout way.
You're saying
in the
merits of
defending-
dowry. There's no
Yeah.
roundabout way.
No, but like in the sense, look at their explanation, okay, as to why, what are the advantages of dowry. This one is spread of education among girls. Because of burden of dowry, many parents have started educating their girls. Okay, when the girls are educated or even employed, the demand of dowry will be less. This is an indirect advantage of dowry. What are these explanations?
And how is all this information going to help the nurse stick a needle up your arm?
Yeah.
Or
How, like,
also
pure.
true. Also
Pure.
true.
Depending
Yeah.
on if she's
Also
read the
true.
article or not. Yeah.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Another one. The next line is even more disturbing. The next one is I'm reading from the book. It says,
You're not blaming you, Papa.
yeah. It says,
You're not the author.
I know.
Silverie
So
passing
bad.
on.
No, this is-
Navratri wasn't my idea. All the dowry.
See, it's a really bad one. That's why. So it says, ugly-looking girls can be married off with attractive dowries with well or ugly-looking boys. So that's another advantage.
Well, it's
in the
not a
thing.
bad thing. It's a clinical thing. That the aesthetics apart is the clinical thing. Like we want to make sure in a balanced society, everybody
Yeah.
gets a fair chance. That's the philosophy behind it. I'm not being the devil's advocate. I'm just trying to tell you what I think. But can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is in Indian culture, why we haven't figured out that if anything, the man has to pay the woman. Because ultimately, if you look at who's useless and who's less useless, I mean, there's no question the gender parity is not there.
Yeah.
Indian culture meaning Hindu culture.
No,
Because in Muslim weddings,
let's
the
talk about
guy
India
does
first
pay.
because I can't speak for everyone. Sorry.
But Muslim culture, the guy pays
The meher, yeah, but
So
that's is that really there in a sense, or is it more like a tokenism? One second, we'll come
it's
to
a
that.
very token thing.
That's what.
It's a
So
very
we'll come to that in a
token
second.
thing. I nearly married a Muslim guy,
And because of the meher,
his
you
main-
wanted to marry him.
But
You
his
disgusting,
main
greedy person.
his main
Was he
incentive
ugly? How much did he
was-
cost?
He was damn good looking, but complete bastard. But that's a different
Huh?
story.
Personal cheese.
Yeah, but my point is that he was telling me, see, in us, we give the girl, and my mother's like, yeah, it's a token thing. You
Yeah,
don't have
that's
to get
what.
married because of that.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, except for, say, earning money sometimes some males do that. What else do we do for the family? We literally do nothing else. So if anything, it should be the other way around. We have to pay because they are the real providers. Without my wife, my parents won't be looked after, for example, or the kids, or the world wouldn't move. I mean, I'll go and lift weights and walk dogs. That's my contribution to society. Beyond that, what?
Sure.
And I'm not the only one, Kajol. Let me tell you. In fact, I'm not the worst. There are worse than me.
Absolutely correct.
So
I-
my dad
is-
took a sabbatical from working very early.
So he could be a housewife.
No, not even that.
Then?
So that he could be creative.
Oh, that's
Oh,
I don't
that's
know what
nice.
that meant.
That's different.
That's
But
nice.
that's
No, no,
very
no,
European.
no,
That's
no,
very
no, no,
European.
No, that meant nothing. That basically meant that he was supposed
He was
to be
taking a
writing
year
book
One
off,
second,
every
like
year.
a,
One
he
second,
took a
she's
drop year.
No,
That
she's
sounds
being
like-
she's criticizing. We didn't pick it up. Please go on.
So he was a writer, and when you're a writer, you can take a sabbatical from work and tell people you're writing a book, and you can keep that story up for a lot of years until. And you can.
So
you don't have to
that's
just
the
write one
story in the
chapter.
story. Yeah, excellent.
That's so good. But wait, you're saying
Yeah.
it's a sabbatical
No,
from work, so he's still
he's
getting
saying,
paid.
Kajol, am I right? You're
No,
saying
no,
that he
no.
was basically,
No, no.
he was bunking.
He was chilling.
He
No,
was
but he wasn't
He
getting
was
paid.
loafing around.
It
He was
wasn't
loafing
earned.
around.
It wasn't
No,
earned.
you're not getting paid.
He's George in Seinfeld is what she's saying.
Yeah,
He basically
correct.
pretended to sort of, whatever, you create an
great.
illusion
That's
of
great.
whatever and boom, and you
That's
carry
great.
on.
Yes,
It's like
absolutely.
me and the watchman. Every time he asks me, naukri mil gaya, I say, nahi. Why lie to him? He can see through you.
Sir, Diwali.
But then,
naukri nahi hai.
Naren, I don't know if you got this. This is a good point. A lot of men pretend to work also. Do you realize?
Yeah.
Let's keep money aside because sometimes you may be able to get money through family means or whatever, or you're looked out, you're a kept product in a business family or whatever, and they pretend to work. But at 9 in the morning, they're sending you WhatsApps about really strange things. At 10, there's no anxiety in their lives.
Yeah. I get it. I've actually quit a few WhatsApp groups. It was overwhelming, man. These people have opinions,
Yeah.
deeply thought opinions at 10 in the morning.
On a Monday.
And on a Monday, I'm struggling to keep my whatever delivery
They,
schedule.
you guys don't realize they spent all night long
All night.
Yeah.
just drafting the perfect
Yeah,
message.
yeah.
that they could
Hope it
think
doesn't
of.
happen to you
How do I
because
do
you
this?
spend the whole day killing time. And hence, coming back to her point about the dad and all that, you kill time like this. So that's all you do because you have to, you're at the workplace geographically
Yeah.
or whatever. And then it's like,
So what makes you think you should get a dowry, right?
Yeah,
You should be the other way around. Yeah.
Wow.
But nurse's textbook
But
thinks
Kajol,
otherwise.
now that you opened up the Pandora's box, Dad, does he work?
Oh, no, he died long time
Oh, I'm
back.
so sorry.
But, you know,
Me and my
that's
research.
okay, that's okay.
Where's my research team?
Um,
Who's the
sorry.
worst host
Sorry,
in India?
Cyrus.
Even Pooja Bedi was better than this. I mean, what is this? What's going on? I'm so sorry.
No, that was okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that from the time he took the.
But you can't fool your family, no? It's like
We were not fooled.
That's what I'm saying. Your family. There's no point. The family can see through you when you're working hard or not working hard. If you're sincere, not sincere. If you're, avoiding duties, family duties, etc. You can't fool them.
But what did he tell you guys? That's what he was telling with work. Okay, I'm writing a book. What did he tell you
He
guys?
sort of said the same thing, I presume.
He said the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And then we could see that he was sitting and drinking. And
That's great,
Which
actually.
technically, again, as long as he works when he works, because you got
I'm actually
your
very
muse
impressed,
or
man.
whatever. No, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
There are people who do weed and stuff. I won't take names.
Yeah,
But
correct.
as long as you deliver,
Like that kid in the news
that
right now.
kid in the news,
Yes.
segue to that right now. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's a horrible story.
I mean, terrible, right?
What kind of
This
mother does that?
This mother found out that her child. You guys must have seen this. It's kind of brutal, this poor video. But
15-year-old kid, first of all.
15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
His mother finds out that the kid has been bunking school and like she's been finding him lay down on the roads, just like high on marijuana.
Laid down the road, matlab, gir gaya.
Like he would like sleep on the road. or
Sleeping on the
something.
road.
That's what she's saying in the article.
He'll get a good dowry. I feel this guy's right on top.
So she finds out that this is because of weed and marijuana that this guy's been consuming.
But
So she ties
marijuana,
him-
generally, you don't go berserk.
You don't.
You don't.
So I think
Not that I know. Oh, Naren, you're a hospital.
Also what happened
you're a
is-
doctor's
so
family, yaar. Huh.
he didn't show up at home for 10 days and then showed up after 10 days and the mother assumed it's like he was high on marijuana. That's the
Okay.
I assume the drug she assumed it is. We don't know what it is actually. But she tied him to like a concrete pole with a rope
Sorry.
and started literally rubbing chili powder in his eyes.
You God.
This guy screaming his lungs out. Okay, this kid, 15 years old, screaming his lungs out. His mother's like rubbing his face with chili. And then another woman joins, like an auntie from
So
the
now you know
neighborhood.
why he was taking marijuana and weed and all that. No? Look at
wanted
the
chili
background,
powder.
bichara. What do you want him to
Yeah,
do,
I
man?
know.
He grows up in this kind
Man, I have
of...
to
How
go home.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst crimes, not to endorse drugs ever, but there are really worse crimes than that. Put chili
Absolutely.
powder in his
Yeah,
eyes.
that's- Dude, he
Really.
could damage his eyes.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
so
It
dangerous.
must be
Excruciating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're inflamed. I don't know what would have happened.
Also, spare a thought for a guy who at that age can't even spell what he's having, because marijuana is not easy to spell. I mean, imagine they tell you, spell it, then I'll give it to you. You'll be like, yaar, wo,
God.
M. Tough one. Actually, can you spell it? You probably can. No, because you're educated.
M-Y-N.
Yeah, stop it. Don't overdo it. This overacting won't work. Huh? They're doing exactly what Kajol mentioned. Don't pretend. We don't want pretense.
Okay,
Huh?
cool.
Be open. Yeah.
can I check in on this issue?
Please?
Yes, please.
Okay, I completely hate the fact that she put mirchi powder in his eyes, okay,
Yeah.
because that is cruelty and it's horrible. But I can get the point of her
punishment.
having a 15-year-old boy. No,
Yeah.
forget punishment.
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, my dad was completely on marijuana, and I do a set on it. I say there are
Wow.
side effects to
Kajol, this is
marijuana.
becoming a very
There are side
open expose on poor dad.
I mean,
I didn't really want to go there, but
Yeah.
you want to do the next 20
the authorities
minutes.
can't get to
Yeah.
him. So I think they're fine.
No. So hear me out. I say there's side effects to marijuana because my father used to wake up in cold sweats every day, thinking that HR was coming to give him a job. Okay, because in my opinion, once people start marijuana, the job prospects just die. And I have dated enough. I mean, I date guys just like my dad, so I've dated all the dopers I have known, and they don't work. Okay, especially past the age of 35, they're all writing books. And
Yeah,
it's
but
going
I don't know if
fucking
that's
nowhere.
fair, Kajol. Some of the greatest artists in the world, like say Samuel Coleridge, one of the greatest poets that
The
ever
Beatles.
existed. The Beatles. I mean, Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
They're giving you some great art. It's not. I don't know if you can't correlate that
Bob Dylan.
because.
See, it's
Yeah.
like saying, it's like
And
saying
Indians as
every,
well. We're not taking
out
Indian
of-
names.
Yeah.
Huh? There's a very famous actor who lives
Naseeruddin
nearby
Shah.
here. I'm saying don't take names.
But
Pagal
it's known,
There's a
man.
lawyer ka family who bang.
But it's a known thing.
What the fuck's yaar?
It's a known thing. Allegedly.
Just watch it, bro. We gotta. I mean,
Nawazuddin Siddiqui.
Ah,
Allegedly.
just stop.
Allegedly.
Quit.
What
yaar.
am I wrong?
Don't
This
quit
is not
marijuana.
known.
Quit naming.
Nawaz too has talked about openly.
Maybe
also.
I were interrupting Kajol. She was saying something again. Huh?
Okay, my point is that's like saying that all the strugglers who come to Mumbai to make it in Bollywood, four will make it and become famous, and that doesn't justify the rest of the lives that all the other strugglers
Fair
lead.
enough.
So I'm just saying that for everyone who does marijuana, everyone does not become massively creative. Some of them just become complete losers. Okay, and
True.
I've known these losers. So from a mother's point of view, I totally get that frustration that she can't stop this 15-year-old boy from just ruining his life.
Why did the
Because
aunt join in? You think the other person would have a objectivity a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's true.
Ki boss
So
both
now I don't know.
kam karo
So
or-
I don't know. It didn't mention the article. The article also describes her as another woman. So I don't know whether she's an aunt or a neighbor or.
It's
some
a
related
lesbian
family.
couple and their kid.
No, I don't know. It
You
didn't
and
say.
your stories, bro.
It didn't
They
say,
just
man.
go on.
No, actually, I read the article. The background is this lady is a domestic worker or something.
Yeah.
And her husband is not contributing or
Yeah,
something.
correct.
And
Okay.
she doesn't want. So, yeah, I mean, you can
Fair
understand
enough.
her.
She doesn't want to
rage.
chip
Yes,
of
of
the
course.
whole block.
Of
She's
course.
seen exactly what's to
Yeah.
come. And
Yeah.
yeah. But still,
it is
too violent.
Like it
I'll
damages
tell you a
eyes.
story.
For sure, it damages eyes.
No, there's a comedian. Okay, and forget names. She's a open micer. She was,
Names.
no, forget that. She's a
See,
open
Silverie,
micer.
and you are
I
so
don't know
different.
her.
Don't
He
say
says the
names.
name before the crime.
No, but those are public figures again. We can name public
Now,
figures. Sorry.
and then these are not the comedians.
Legal jargon.
Huh.
But she's in. Okay.
She had put up a post once, okay, saying that I want to kill myself. And then I called her up just generally. I said, listen, just talk about. She's like, my dad is an alcoholic. My mother just died. And now my younger brother has gotten into alcohol and drugs. And I don't know what to do. Because it's very frustrating, Cyrus. A small kid is just, it's at 15 years old, what control do you have over yourself?
So there's that a call for attention or a real call for help? Because you never know.
What do you do, Cyrus? Suppose your kid is into drugs at that age. What do you do?
No, I agree.
It's very difficult. So I know someone who did that. They went into therapy and luckily the kid came out. But it's difficult. Therapy was agonizing.
Also,
It was like,
what do you do when they throw the ball to you? Like we used to we did the show called Loveline, where qualified medical professionals like myself, Sophie, Malaika, Shanaz, and so it's all fun 80% of the time. Because, I'm from Jalandhar, I like this girl, I think she likes me, but we've never met. Rubbish like that. I see her at the bus stop, I follow her home. Stalking stories.
God.
All fine. And then there's one story, the guy writes in blood. It's like you can see it's not like blood color because it's dried on the letter, but it's like a dark black, kind of color. And we all then we don't know what to do because suddenly the whole the level of the thing has gone to another level, and what the hell, making flippant comments.
You're
But
thinking
somebody
yuck.
not forget yuck.
Is this safe to hold this paper?
No, but people are so lonely in a sense that they have no one to connect with, that they're talking to strangers on TV because they can't talk to brother, sister, cousin, whatever. But whatever the problem is, and then you read about what she's talking about, and it's a little scary. And I'm saying when they throw the ball to you, you're like, how do I empathize correctly and say the right things? I don't know what to do.
yeah.
I
And
feel bad, but what do you do?
And you are looking at it from your frame of reference. You'll make fun of it because that's what you do, and you don't know the backstory and
You
all
can't
of
do
it.
that there because there they want to hear something. They're reaching out. Is there a desperate situation like this girl who's posted for Kajol? I mean, what does she do? How do you deal with it? Because if she's serious, I mean, she's one step away from doing something ridiculous, and then it's sort of on you in a way.
Yeah.
God, man, that's why we closed Loveline. I said these girls couldn't handle all this. I'm doing the comedy. I'm not getting involved in the rest. This is not too much.
But also,
Damn you, Malaika.
I think
what
though
the hell?
education towards addiction is required though, right? Like, of course, this woman is not aware what addiction, the problem of addiction causes. So that awareness needs to be spread.
So one big problem is we don't have. It's criminal offense, right? So if someone is taking drugs, that's
criminal.
Yeah, and
Criminal.
not only that, the cops will actually arrest you, and and you'll be for the rest of your life you'll be fighting that.
No, but they've got the father's example.
Yeah.
So she's not going to let that happen to her kid. It's actually
Yeah.
love that's making her do all this. It's like, no way. This wastrel is enough. This guy cannot land up like that. Hence, she's gone berserk. I'm not saying it's right, but you're trying to think of the logic behind why a mother would go.
She's not rational anymore.
Not rational, So I just can't have him becoming like that. And then, of course, you can do what you want, but 20 years later, they're the same. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't turn out like that. Yeah.
Right? Should we go to the AMAs?
Let's go to the AMAs because 11 o'clock Zoom call.
Yes, sir.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
This first one comes in from Pad F007. He says, did Kajol go to lunch with Kunal? Cyrus should arrange that on the show. If not
I
done already.
apologize. In a way, it's my fault because I've told Kunal, but he's not taking it seriously. He's saying, of course, I'll go and all that. But no, because the thing is, no woman has ever given this offer. When we've been very drunk and he's got courage, he's gone up to a girl and said, would you like to go for dinner? And the best they've said is like, I'm on a diet. That's like the best. So this is something he can't imagine. And how do I don't know.
Shall I DM him? Shall I
DM him, and also
myself?
if I can preserve the link where you're saying just that one link, if you can keep Rishi, if you can just save it. Kajol, I'm asking you this question for Kunal to hear. Do you want to go out for dinner with Kunal Vijayakar?
Yes, I do.
Oh, excellent. Done.
I totally do.
Done. And unlike me, he's generous. He'll pay for it. He'll fetch and drop you everything. He's great that way. He's an old gentleman. In fact, old is important also because he may fetch and drop you, but you may have to sort of drop him. in a sense, because of the age factor.
I'm all keen. Just tell him to set a date and I will be there.
Yeah. But after the men you've mentioned so far in your life, you can't do worse, honestly. It's not bad. Not bad. All right. So done. We've sorted that out. Naren, would you like to go out with Kunal?
Actually, yeah, I've seen his YouTube video. He finds the most amazing places to.
Yes.
He doesn't. Somebody else
man,
does.
he's like,
lazy.
yeah.
He has no idea.
But that's a very
He
good
tries to
show.
avoid the shoot as much as possible. It's just
Very,
typical
very fun
Indian male. Yeah. Waste of time. Silverie, would you like to go on a date?
Yeah, why not? He'll take me to nice places to eat and all.
Yeah, but he doesn't do the weed thing and all. Huh? He's
I'll do it. No,
old-fashioned.
I'll do it. I'll come ready
Your
with my
mom's
appetite.
watching the show. We've just discussed this about this poor
Yeah.
domestic worker and her son. We've discussed that girl
Mom,
online
I'm
with
just
Kajol.
doubling down on the joke.
I can't help you anymore, beta. First you pick a fight with Nasiruddin Shah, one of the few good men left in the country. Okay.
Yep.
Chalo.
Next question comes in from VB, who says, why do they have problems with letters written in different languages on a Haldiram's packet? Also, they have high exports to UAE. Do they want to destroy business? So you know talking about, right? Behind.
Yeah.
Correct. In Arabic.
How is
It
that?
doesn't. How does it matter?
How does it matter? You're
It's
just
people-
opening a market rather than closing a market.
Exactly.
I think this again.
And there was that
People are
halal
cheap.
certificate thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Correct, yes.
literally every consumer goods manufacturer has a halal certificate because,
I'm so glad they've opened this halal issue.
Yeah.
Because first people just think that they were only after the Muslims. Now they have made Haldirams into anti-national. Now
Exactly.
I bought.
Amul
So
is
now
next.
let
Amul is
everyone
next.
let everyone realize that everyone is going to go down with
Lucky
this-
Ali
with
has
this
said something,
entire
right, about this. I was trying
Has
to,
he?
yeah,
I'll
see if we can get his
so.
tweet.
Yeah.
He's jumped into the fray. Well, I can't believe that now this halal thing. Again, you were discussing Ukraine on one side. We've got problem with the inflation is out of control. Sri Lanka is dying on right next to us. Pakistan's in a crisis. India is always in a crisis. But we always find something which is, it's almost like comedy.
irrelevant. Yeah.
The writing on the back of the Haldiram thing, really, that's something.
because-
Government, sit down, stop that first. Then we'll discuss inflation. Yeah.
Our main problem is Farali Chura. Okay. In 2022, India is upset about Farali Chura.
It's not even like a joke. That's actually it. So now what do we do?
Yeah.
This is the hierarchy that they've given you of priority. Let's go with that. Let's fight that fight first. And we'll come
With
back.
this much, this much absurdity, I don't know how comedians even find a
Comedians
job.
are funny.
They can't dream of funnier shit.
We
than
just
this.
show things now.
Yeah.
We have Arnab first 15 minutes and then we show things after that. That's it. This is what the government said. This is what spokesperson said. That's it. Yeah, go on.
The thing is, earlier I used to find it funny. Now I'm angry. Okay. After this entire halal issue.
So you're an angry
especially-
comic.
I'm a forget comic.
You're
I'm
like
just
Larry
angry.
David in the old
Okay.
days.
I'm just genuinely angry. I normally do not make statements. I do jokes on Twitter, but right now I'm hopping mad because I feel we're going past the point of no return.
Yeah.
It's just not funny anymore.
But I'll tell you one redeeming thing. Okay, I have no evidence for this, but I believe that a vast majority of people are not like this. This is one very small vocal
But they're
minority.
vociferous. They're vociferous.
Yeah.
This vocal minority,
Yeah.
they're loud.
They will overdo
Yeah.
and they will vanish.
It's like when you go to a match or a concert, there are 10, 20 badly behaved people in a cinema. Sometimes when we were
Yeah.
growing up, we'll just heckle and say things. But it's not like out of 500 people, it's 10 people. But you think a lot of people are badly behaved, but it's not a lot.
Yeah.
The government is not slapping them down. Huh?
No, that's because I mean, it's in their interest, right? They're talking about. No one's talking about the relevant things. Why don't we have,
true.
industry? Why don't we have
Sidetrack.
jobs? Yeah, you don't talk about those things. You talk about the.
I think our
back
podcast is
of
so
a-
famous. The government is pushing it. It's such rubbish. Let them to focus on that and then everything, no one will remember the real issues. Sri Lanka government called me. Rajapaksa and the third Rajapaksa. Imagine, they have 3 Rajapaksas for the price of one.
And
this
one
is what
guy
happened.
left actually. Otherwise,
Because he's
they'd
the
have
finance
4.
minister. It's on his head. So the other two brothers said, "Hey, ja, do mahine ka tu bahar jao. Go to India. You're safe there. You'll be a big hero." Yeah, wow. We should make fun. Sorry, love Sri Lanka. I want to go there.
Man.
Only
What a
with-
sweet country.
Lovely
And,
country.
yeah.
I always say it's like India with more warmth.
Yeah,
People are just,
and it's like almost first world level clean. Yeah.
yeah. As a tourist, you always treat it superbly. You can't complain. Anyway, it is what it is.
Yep.
If China takes over, that's what's going to happen.
I found Lucky Ali's
Hanji,
thing, but it's very
Hanji.
long. You want to read it?
No, let's sing Oh Sanam instead. That's shorter.
Yeah, correct.
Oh Sanam.
But go check it out. He does make a good point. His point is that he explains what halal and kosher basically are, and why companies use that label to say that it's Muslims and Jewish people can buy this if they want to.
Okay, but you look at it again clinically, it's just commerce.
It's just
I have
commerce.
to
That's
sell
exactly
a
what it
product,
is. That is
and I
exactly
know
what
I have different markets, so I just sell it. Why are you getting into any religiosity? It's not really about religiosity.
No, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
unbelievable.
That's because people in India think that halal means only about cutting the meat. They don't realize that it just generally means lawful.
Yeah.
Okay? That is all it means. But who's going to, unless luckily at least tweet is in Hindi, who's going to read it?
No, his Hindi is like mine.
English.
He's from Karnataka. Don't worry about Lucky Ali. He's a great guy though. AMA is over?
No, we have one more. Girish Patil says...
Worse than songs from Bollywood.
Girish Patil says, Cyrus, have you ever hosted pre-match and post-match shows for any channels? If not...
Yeah, I did a T20 World Cup. Once in T20 World Cup 2010 West Indies, who hosted. I got to sit with Wasim Akram and Jason Gillespie and Danny Morrison, Dermot Reeve. Good fun. Lots of fun. Yeah. 21 days in Delhi, Trident Hotel. But our timings were like 4 in the morning. We would pack up at 4:30. We'd go and eat breakfast together at 5 because it was West Indies time. And we started 6 in the evening. It was horrible for me. It was a watchman.
Who was the awesomest of the lot?
So Wasim, he was really generous and obviously bonded easily with him and all that. They were all nice actually. Jason was struggling to get work. I didn't know he was going to become a great coach. 2 years later, he was a huge coach in Middlesex and all that. But he was struggling. He was on Skype all the time. Danny is really friendly. They're all really friendly. But Wasim, every time we went for dinner, I would ask Wasim, me. I would do it jokingly, of course, but half jokingly, paisa nahi hai, number of mine. And he said, ठीक है, don't worry. And then I asked him, in log bill nahi bharta hai? So he said, yahan pe nahi, wahan pe nahi. I'll never forget that. Little racism among Indian Pakistani desis against poor guys. But their culture is different. I don't make it a race issue, but generally speaking, in the Caucasian world or whatever you want to call it, everybody pays their own way. That's the way they're brought up. It's just different. Okay, in the Pakistani North Indian world, it's always I'll pay for you. And then you fight and punch each other. So, and Wasim was like that. Right? But he always paid the bill. The bill was just taken care of. But these two or three, whoever was there, they never paid the bill. That was one thing I remembered. I wish I was Wasim Akram's cousin or friend, for life. That I could, I've always, if he calls you for lunch, you have to go. Huh.
The next question is kind of related to cricket stories only. Harvespa Kasad has asked, hello all, have you read Vinod Rai's book?
No, I'm going to get it now.
Okay, his full question is, have you read Vinod Rai's book, Not Just a Night Watchman, on his tenure in BCCI and controversies during that time? The Kumble Kohli saga, Pandya Rahul controversy and Mithali Pawar saga.
Yeah, all three are very interesting. I've read excerpts about it, but it's fabulous. I can't believe these guys are so sharp now that they realize if I have 4 or 5 scams during my tenure in something like cricket, I can write a whole book. Because everybody's point of view has to be taken into consideration. The Kohli Kumble thing over the coaching thing, where Kohli was not happy with him, etc. And Kumble was a disciplinarian, and then he told the board that he doesn't like me, I don't want to be the coach and all that nonsense. But basically, there was a rift, no question about it. But I don't know whether they can make 30 pages out of it, But they will.
I don't know, but I would like to read it just to see if it's interesting. I'm not a big fan of cricket.
The Hardik Pandya, KL Rahul issue, if you guys remember, Karan Johar called them on the couch and asked them ridiculous questions.
Correct.
And the sexual jargon happened mostly from Pandya, with KL Rahul just sort of laughing along.
That episode has been removed.
No, it has been removed, but my point is the culprit is Karan.
That's true.
He's the one who the BCCI should have suspended, but he doesn't play cricket. So it's not fair. Because he set them up. It's a boys' club. We're all laughing. He's like, if I call you guys here and I change the tenor of the conversation,
and then they release
to
it
be
also.
pro-drug or
they
something.
They don't have to release it.
That's also their problem. I'm saying how come he's not involved in this the repercussions? These two guys can lose their career, and I'm not saying.
So that's what I'm saying. Star World is also the problem then, because
correct. That's what. There's no collective thing here. It was only these two guys are bad. I mean, two young boys, you talk about sex and things like that. I mean, who hasn't done it? I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. And then what about Karan? He's giggling away. Tell me more. What the hell? I would never let Karan play for India after this. I would take real action against him.
Noted.
And the third one, which is the Mithali, which people don't follow women's cricket enough, so you don't know. There's a huge politics there. All right, how she lost the captaincy, how Harmanpreet got the captaincy. And Mithali is supposed to be a very difficult person to work with, etc. But now she's the skipper. Harmanpreet is a very popular person. Who did that, how that's orchestrated. So this is it's great fun, but I'm saying this guy is smart enough to put all these things together so people like me who love cricket and you will actually buy the book.
It'll be really interesting to read.
Totally. But I see you've lost interest in it already.
No, good. But there's a great way to round up the show.
Really?
To end the show. This comes in from Captain Day, who says, a big fan of Simplified. Can Naren please do the ending in his simplified style?
Yeah, I'm totally flattered by this. How should
And
I
I'm
say? Yeah.
offended. That's fine.
Yeah. Stay safe, stay brochard, and stay simplified. Yeah.
Wow. The one thing I don't want to hear is anybody wearing a mask or saying stay safe. I mean, yours is different because it's all tongue in cheek, but it's so irritating when people send you messages like, what's up, bro, blah, 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 this, and stay safe.
Take care.
And stay hydrated.
Stay safe. Like, you
Stay
really
hydrated.
Yeah.
Stay.
I always send messages like, what's my father's name? Because you're fucking so close to me. Come on, tell me more. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Don't say stay safe. I think about you all the time.
Mr. Brocha.
I have a guy in the building now who's writing poetry.
You're really close to him.
Yeah.
Mr. Brocha's right.
He knew. Yeah, he knew.
He's sharp, this guy. It's all
I know mother's name also.
Your mother's also Mr. Brocha. Ours is a very different community. All right. Kajol, thank you so much. Hope you come here once in a while.
I'll come.
Yes, please. Yes.
Look at the commitment from women when it comes to women. I'll come, but 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Nothing
right.
changes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Our thanks to Naren, of course.
Absolutely.
For getting a professional host on the show.
Please go listen to Simplified on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, IVM Podcasts, and subscribe.
So
hit
what
like,
we're-
share, subscribe on this video as well.
I'll explain what you're saying. So basically, if you have a choice between our show and Simplify, take Simplify.
Take it all.
Clear.
Take it all in.
Clear.
Take it all in. And go watch
Sophie's
Kajol
choice.
shows
Sophie's
also.
choice. You got
Let's
two
plug
kids.
it.
You
Okay,
can
I'm
save
going to
one.
Bangalore. 15th,
Okay.
16th, 17th of April.
Is this
So
marriage?
on my Twitter.
Oh, performing?
Performing there.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yes. So, guys, if anyone's from Bangalore, please look up my Twitter. I'm putting all my
16th, 17th.
Twitter
Cyrus
16th,
Saukar's marriage.
17th.
He's only invited 100 people who live in Alibag, so he doesn't pay for the stay. Smart guy. I kept asking him, is this VJ coming? Is that VJ coming? Finally, he tells me, bro, listen, I can't call everyone. Oh, you go and have the.
Sorry, you're not invited, Cyrus.
No, I'm invited because we have a house. That's how we qualify. Do you understand? Smart guy, Saukar. Smart guy. All right. He's having a breakdown. Bye-bye. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Are you looking for finance products and services that can enhance your personal finance experience? Are you looking for a space to talk about your financial product or service? And are you looking for a crisp talk show where the conversation is all about money? Well, your search ends here. Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta and I'm host of the Paisa Paisa podcast, and I invite you for the conversation about your personal finance on each Monday on the IVM podcast app or the website or on any podcast streaming platforms. See you folks.
You're the people pleaser, right? Or then desperately seeking the one? Or wait, you're the one who doesn't think they're ever good enough. So much drama. And for what? Is it doing you any good? Listen to me. I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach. Yes, I'm the one who has been dropping all those truth bombs on every episode. And it's time you learn to say no to drama. That's also what my podcast is called. And a new episode is out every Monday and Wednesday on the IVM Podcast app, website, as well as all major podcasting platforms.